What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and I'm also a fight guy. And we are here talking today about Shakur Stevenson's next fight against Miguel Marriaga. He is a 30-year-old Colombian veteran, absolute veteran. I'm sorry, 33-year-old Colombian veteran. He'll be 34 on Halloween, and he's trying to make it a scary evening for Shakur Stevenson. Madison Square Garden, Shakur Stevenson's 13-0, already a world champion, the WBO Featherweight champion. He will actually be making his first title defense, on that with that particular fight. And the question here, I think, for everyone is this fight really going to push Shakur Stevenson? Shakur is 22 years old. I'll turn 23 in June. Last fight, he won the vacant title, taking out Joet Gonzalez. It was a bit of a grudge match. There was all types of other things going on. Shakur's dating Joet Gonzalez's sister, and there was all a bunch of other stuff on there. It wasn't really a competitive fight. Shakur just dominated. He won every single round but one on all three judges' scorecards, and it just really wasn't competitive. What I don't think we know yet is whether or not Shakur truly is a knockout level fighter on up with the championship level fights. Now, he is only 22, and there's a chance that his real power hasn't really developed yet. He's also 5'8", which could imply that he's not long for the featherweight division, that he'll be moving up, could get up all the way as high as welterweight at some point. But Marriaga is the same height, 5'8". I don't know if he's as naturally big as Shakur. I totally see Shakur going up at least to 140 pounds. Marriaga's been fighting here at 33, at featherweight for a while. So we'll see how that ends up shaking out. The thing about Marriaga is, and I think this is why, if the question is this a good test for Shakur? I think the answer is definitively yes. And the reason why I say that is, if you look at Marriaga's record, he's 29-3, 25 knockouts, right? He's only been stopped one time ever in his career. And if you look at the people that he has lost to, he has not taken a loss against anybody that was not an elite fighter, at least considered an elite fighter at the time. First loss, pretty lopsided, unanimous decision at the hands of Nicholas Walters, who at the time, back in 2015, when this fight took place, Nicholas Walters was like the boogeyman in the lower weight classes. He was a guy everybody knew, this is a nasty, tough fight, right? Lost the unanimous decision at that point. Didn't lose again for 2 years. He had actually strung together 5 consecutive victories, but then he stepped up against Oscar Valdez, and he took a unanimous decision loss there too. It was pretty lopsided again. And that one was in 2017. Turns around and gets a really big fight coming off of a loss just 4 months later against Vasyl Lomachenko. That's the only time he's been stopped. He did not come back out for the round. His corner stopped the fight after the 7th round, and was part of the whole thing when people seem to be quitting on the stool or quitting in the middle of fights with Lomachenko, like almost in a string. So Marriaga was kind of caught up in that little spin. So like I said, 3 losses, all 3 against elite fighters. Since the loss to Lomachenko, Marriaga has strung together 4 straight victories. None of them over good fighters, to be totally honest. Derlinson Buriel doesn't even have a star rating on BoxRec. You look at Jose Estrella, 2-star rating. Ruben Cervera, that's a no-star rating. And then his last fight against Alfredo Mejia Vargas, that's a 2-star rating. He knocked all 4 of those guys out. So he's pretty much kind of gotten these build yourself back up fights. And now he's stepping back in here with Stevenson. So I think one of the things you really want to look at, though, is you say, now the only losses that this guy has had has been against good fighters. So then you have to turn around and ask yourself, well, who has he beaten that was actually good? So I would say his biggest quality victory is against Adonis Aguero and that was an 8-rounder. And then I guess if you're looking at 10-round fights, he beat Guy Robb in August of 2016. So the pickings are a little slim. So here's the thing. What usually happens with Marriaga, when he steps up in competition, if he's facing somebody that is completely elite, the fight isn't even really competitive, right? So if you're trying to figure out how to, use some sort of a measuring stick for Shakur Stevenson in this fight, you have to say, usually when Marriaga fights a top-level fighter, it's not competitive. He was blown away when he fought Nicholas Walters. He was blown away when he fought Valdez. Didn't come out for the 8th round when he fought Lomachenko. So knowing that, Shakur and his team are probably trying to have a really impressive victory so that they can hold up their victory next to some of these other guys and say, hey, well, we finished them in 5. We finished them in 6, or we finished them at least in 7, which is the same exact thing that Lomachenko did. So that will only add to Shakur's standing right now, which is still escalating. He's, like I said, only 22 years old. So he's still got a lot left to accomplish and still got some growth to go. I know he's eager. If you follow him on social media, you can say he's very eager to get back into the ring and show what he can do. Last fight took place in October of 2019, so he hasn't had a long time off. It's going to be interesting to see, obviously, too, if he does come out with the victory here, which clearly he's expected to. If he does come out to get the victory here, when will he be back in the ring? Here, this fight is coming up on March 14th. Would he be back in the ring in July? I think that's very possible, maybe even earlier than that, depending on how easily he's able to defeat Marriaga, if indeed he is able to do that. So interesting from a standpoint of assuming he wins as we expect, how easy does that win come? But not so much drama or suspense is for you to say, is Shakur going to win? Then again, funny things happen on the way to an automatic victory. Nobody hardly would have given Robert Helenius a chance to stop Adam Kalnacki last weekend. That's exactly what happened. I think by the time that fight closed, by the time odds closed at the beginning of that fight, Kalnacki, was a minus $3,060 to win that fight. So which means that you had to bet $3,060 just to win $100 on Kalnacki. Humongous favorite. Fights are not fought in the office of the odds makers. They fought in the ring, and anything can happen in boxing, and we know that's the case here with Shakur Stevenson and Marriaga. Who knows? Marriaga definitely has some power with 25 knockouts, more power than what Shakur has demonstrated. I'm quite sure that Shakur is going to want to start to introduce that part of his game more and more as his career moves on. And if you think about it, why not on Saturday against Marriaga, Madison Square Garden, headlining a card? It's his time. It's time to show and prove. And we'll see what happens with Stevenson on Saturday. So I plan to hit up a recap for the fight. We're definitely going to recap it if something unexpected happens. But even still, no matter what, we'll be here on the Fight Guys to recap the fight. So look forward to that. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't liked this video, please do. I appreciate you watching. As always, God bless and peace.